Look at these earrings that Brent Spiner got me. They're sterling silver with a rhodium finish so they don't tarnish. Aren't they pretty? Yeah, these are from Brent Spiner. He got them for me. I'm going to be reading you a letter that Brent Spiner wrote me about Josh Stronach, who is one of my blind Patreon supporters. This letter was sent to me on November the 22nd, 2020. Dearest Gail, I know you are familiar with Josh Stronach, your blind patron from Australia, not to be confused with Joshua J. Joshua, the homosexual patron from New York. Well, we thought your followers would be interested to know about his experience on Church of Gail since joining your $25 Patron tier. When we first welcomed Josh aboard, we weren't quite sure what to make of such a unique specimen. Blind, disabled, and Australian, Josh arrived not in a motorized wheelchair as we expected, but riding gallantly on the back of a female kangaroo. Arvo, he piped in Australian. Huh? Interesting ride you have there. Is that your service animal? I asked. Yeah, Josh answered in his sleepy, thoughtful Australian accent, his palsied fingers twitching like the antenna of a praying mantis. Kind of. Kangaroos are like a Swiss Army knife for Australians. They're good for all sorts of things. I see. So you use the kangaroo to get around. Since you're blind, does it also function like a seeing eye dog? Well, yeah, but it's kind of better than that. Terrance Jenkins approached us, and upon seeing the imposing marsupial, stopped abruptly in his tracks, nearly dropping his bucket of Popeye's chicken. This, by the way, was an exclusive limited edition bucket of Popeye's chicken sponsored by the Hannibal and Monty show. The bucket had Hannibal's face printed on it. Oh my goodness, Terrance grabbed his chest in shock. Yeah, you gotta know black people get real scared of them crazy animals, especially them big dogs and shit. I think it be from our old prey instincts. Back in the jungle days, you know. That'd be real cool though, like Ona them pit bulls. Terrance held out his fist to Josh for a fist bump. Like the snap of a firecracker, the kangaroo reacted by punching Terrance square in the balls. Terrance shouted and instantly collapsed into a breathless pile on the floor. His fallen bucket of Popeye spilled out beside him. As the bucket rolled to one side, it revealed the other half of Hannibal's face, showing him to be winking. Oh, sorry about that, mate. She's a bit of a clucky one, very protective of me, Josh panted the kangaroo soothingly with his weird, tarred hands. No drama, girl. You're right. It's just a friendly black man trying to give us a fist bump. You're all right, girl. Oh my God, Terrance groaned, coughing and sputtering as he rocked from side to side on the ground. It's horrible. My testicles be hurting so bad. Nigga be safe even in the hood with a dog like that. Hugh Jackman stopped with concern as soon as he saw the commotion, then practically bounced over to the kangaroo with boyish excitement. Creaky, he exclaimed, his manly Australian heart lighting up with nostalgia. Sweet ride. I remember when I got my kangaroo license when I was 16. My parents bought me my first jack. I rode him right into a tree and totaled it on my first day. The old man was mad as a cut snake. Josh chuckled at Hugh, rocking back and forth. This is all very interesting, I noted. I guess I don't know very much about Australian culture. So your kangaroo can act as your vehicle as a seeing eye service animal and can punch like Hugh Jackman? What else can it do? Well, Josh replied, rocking back and forth thoughtfully as he used one gnarled hand to stroke his kangaroo. The Shylahs, they have a nifty pouch for carrying your things, and that's where Australians store their weed and their Vegemite. It's also a nice little stubby holder. You can even put your wallet in there. Nobody will steal it because they don't want to get punched or kicked, yeah? Wow, I said, you know, Vladimir Putin is a real animal lover and owns several exotic animals himself. He'll be real pleased to meet you and your kangaroo. Yeah? Josh replied, clicking his little insect fingers and rocking. Yep. He'll be your instructor today for combat training as a new Church of Gail recruit. Come on, let's get you down to the training deck. I decided to personally escort our new patron down to the training deck myself. After all, this was a good opportunity to get to know a new comrade. We headed to the elevator and got inside. You know, I thought out loud to Josh, I've never had a blind friend before, but I did have a friend who played one on TV. Geordi La Forge, Josh answered spot on. Yeah, LeVar Burton, I take it you're a Star Trek fan. Always was, Josh replied, his eyes drifting around the elevator blankly as he clicked his fingers. The Geordi La Forge character was born blind and wore a special visor around his eyes that gave him vision. Fun fact, that visor actually worked in real life too. Oh? Josh asked curiously. Oh yeah, it was one of a kind. The costume designer created it totally on accident, I chuckled. He never was able to replicate it with another one. That was when the light bulb hit my brain. Hey, I exclaimed, I don't know why I didn't think of this before. Think of what? LeVar still had his visor from the show. I should text him right now and ask if he can loan it to you. He doesn't live on Church of Gail, but he can FedEx it to us from Earth. Josh droned thoughtfully. How long does it take to FedEx a package to space? About a fortnight, yeah? Sooner than that, my friend. The FedEx on Church of Gail uses transporter technology to receive packages. I glanced down at my cell phone, smiled, and then tucked it away into my pocket. All right, LeVar texted me back and said he'd be more than happy to lend you his visor. Let's stop by FedEx on the way down to the training hall. You can walk into your first day on the job in style, my friend. As promised, we took a detour to the FedEx on Church of Gail. As we stepped up to the desk, our package from LeVar instantly materialized right in front of us. Josh couldn't see this, of course, but his kangaroo freaked out a little bit. I opened the box, and inside was the famous visor. Although it smelled faintly of black people smell and afro spray, the visor was well cared for and kept in mint condition. I turned to present the visor to Josh and place it over his eyes, when one last thought made me pause. You know, the first thing you see should be something very special. I reached for my front pocket to retrieve my wallet. Inside was one of Gail's infamous Playboy photos. I always keep one with me to lift my spirits and to heal my soul and body whenever we've been tormented and traumatized by Jesuit attacks. Here, I said with gentle pride, placing the visor over Josh's eyes. I held the photo in front of his newly adorned visor face. What do you see? There was silence. Josh, I asked. Josh? After a long, long pause, a single tear dropped down Josh's face from beneath the visor. My only regret is that I will never see anything else more beautiful and pure and perfect than this, he whispered softly, sniffling back tears of awe and joy. Thank you, Brent. Thank you. I smiled with pride, my chest warm. Newly upgraded with a Geordi La Forge visor, Josh and his kangaroo continued with me down to the training hall. I am happy to report that Josh successfully completed his first day of training and is getting along great with the men and your other patrons. We've built quite the merry crew. Your husband, Brent Spiner. Update. Following Josh's first day in training under Vladimir Putin, he dropped off his kangaroo at the church veterinarian to have it service checked and get a tune-up. When Josh went back to go pick it up, he reached inside the kangaroo's pouch to get his Vegemite for lunch. That's when his hand unexpectedly slipped along a thin piece of folded up paper. It was a surprise letter from Vladimir Putin, placed inside the pouch compartment of his kangaroo. The letter read as follows: Blind Comrade Josh, my heart is break to see you make vision with black man's girl hair accessory. I decide to gift your large punching rat with eye upgrade. 2, so you can go on manly ride along with Vladimir and Bear. Erect and excite for Gail in your eyes, Vladimir Putin. So, my dear, I am happy to report that both Josh and his kangaroo received awesome eye upgrades. Josh is now equipped with a Geordi La Forge visor, and his kangaroo, which Josh tested out shortly after reading Vladimir's letter, has bona fide laser beam eyes. Your husband, Brent Spiner. And then I got an email from Zach. Hey, Gail, it's Zach. That email wasn't delayed. He's talking about this was a couple days ago. Josh visited the Church of Gail for the first time yesterday. He had a blast with his new visor and laser-eyed kangaroo. Him and Vladimir went out for a ride, him on his kangaroo and Vladimir on his bear. They even did target practice shooting Vladimir's vodka bottles and soda cans with their bear and kangaroo laser eyes. Josh is a great shot for a guy that just gained the gift of sight for the first time. He keeps saying how he was so blessed that the first thing he saw was your beautiful nude body. Lori's bombs are making me cough. How for most people, the first thing they see is their mother's face, but he had a special blessing. His only regret, she's got a toxic yeast toxin in those bombs that's very irritating to the throat. Even Joshua J. Joshua on movie night was coughing to the bomb she was dropping over his head. But he had a special blessing. His only regret is that nothing else he has seen or will ever see has ever been quite as beautiful and perfect. So that is the news about one of my patrons. And thank you, Josh, for supporting me at my Patreon. He's one of my $25 supporters. If you're a $25 supporter, you get to have a special room on the Church of Gail spaceship and join in adventures with my men, as you can see. So I just wanted to read this and show off Brent Spiner's earrings to me. Aren't they beautiful? Sterling silver. He sent them to my P.O. box. Very nice, huh? Yeah, so they look really nice on me because I look good in silver. So yeah. So thank you, Brent. I promised Brent that I would wear them every time I made a video where I showed my face. Thanks again to my patrons. Your support and encouragement has really helped me in our fight for true love against the evil Jesuit order. I'm really happy to have such awesome friends, and I really like hanging out with you guys on our movie nights. So thank you so much to my Patreon supporters. This is a shirt that Zach Knight sent me for Halloween present. And here's my corkboard. When you send me stuff at my P.O. box and cards, I'm going to put it right up here, and you'll see it on the back of all my videos.
Gail, Gail, Gail. Gail, 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 Gail.